Okay, that worked. That's cool. Oh, no, it didn't.
All right. Nope.
Oh, no, it did. Never mind, it did. We're recording.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Everybody get ready, because here comes...
Don't forget to promote the tea. It's the last week for the inverse tea.
Oh, right.
And then maybe mention that we're back to normal next week.
Yeah, we'll do that for sure. And I'm not going to do a lot of stuff up top.
That was it for reminders.
Okay, thank you for that. I appreciate that. All right, here we go. Starting it up in 3, 2, 1. Welcome to There Will Be Dungeons. That's right. You're back, everybody. You're back to listening and watching There Will Be Dungeons at therewillbedungeons.com. I'm Scott Johnson with Bo Schwartz and John Jagger. Kristen and Kyle still taking a week off to take care of this brand new human that they created. He needs to eat. He needs his diaper changed. These are all things you got to do. And so we said, hey, take a couple of weeks off, and they are. But I have good news. They'll be back next week. And we'll be resuming the ridiculousness of the Wasteland campaign, year 2. So don't worry, that's all coming. But today is another Inverse episode. I guess Inverse episode part 4, technically, overall. Technically. Is that right, John? Yeah, that should be it.
Yeah.
So no recap or anything like that. If you haven't been keeping track, last week we started a new one-off with the 3 of us, sorry. And John's, of course, running this campaign. And today... we finish out a 2-parter. Doesn't mean we won't see these characters in the future. I'm 100% certain we will. But for today, sit back and enjoy Inverse Part 4. I think that's it for the top of the show. At the bottom of the show, I have a reminder about a cool contest that's going on and the end of the Inverse Tea collection over at phoenixpearltea.com. If you haven't gotten it, you're going to want to get in there fast. More about that in a minute. And by a minute, I mean about 3 hours from now. All right. I think that's it. We're going to jump right in. John, it's yours.
All right. Last week on There Will Be Dungeons Inverse, fearing that a cult they had previously tangled with was after 2 artifacts belonging to a long-dead warlock named Mondoro Sacked, the party split up to try and beat the cultists to these treasures. Lialta and Sporesmeyer set out to prevent the auction of a book written in a language that no one could read. Meanwhile, Baffo and Garpoon went after a journal that was rumored to contain the cipher or key to translating the book. They arrived at the Mines Monastery, an ancient library dedicated to the acquisition and preservation of knowledge. However, when the party found their errand hindered by perceived bureaucracy and stubbornness, they took a different approach. They attempted to smash in the door, threatening the doorman, the receptionist, and the monastery's newest scholar. They set fire to a book and nearly burned the place to the ground. After a fight with the scholars of Zelganith, Garpoon was nearly killed and Baffo fled into the stacks. After administering some healing, the scholars got Garpoon back on his feet, while Baffo learned what he hoped was the location of the journal. Now both parties are set to meet again outside the ominously named Dark Archive. So, we are going to open today with Baffo. You have learned where the Dark Archive is located. You know it is in the southern wing of the library. And you have begun making your way there. Last week, you said you were still attempting to maintain stealth because, as far as you knew, they were still hunting for you. Is that going to continue to be your goal as you move to the south?
Yeah, I'd like to proceed with stealth to the south library.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a fresh stealth check just to start things off today.
Certainly. Stealth check! 12 plus stealth is 17.
It's pretty good. All right. So, Baffo, you begin creeping your way back through the history wing, which is where you learn the location, back into the central chamber where this all started. You make your way south, continuing to duck through the stacks. You hear sounds behind you. it sounds like maybe people are coming back into the monastery. But you are moving away from it. It's distant, it's far enough away, not causing any alarm for you. And eventually you see the wall of that chamber and the hallway leading south. As you approach, you can hear footsteps moving down the hallway towards you, getting louder.
From behind me.
No, this is actually towards you. So you're headed towards the hallway and you can hear someone moving down the hallway. In fact, actually, you can see light being shed. That
Can I,
same white artificial light that you've seen on the lanterns that the scholars have carried.
Can I clutch the wall and stealthily see who it is without being seen myself?
Sure. So you go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and just continue your 17. It's more than enough.
Mm-hmm.
And you would have had advantage on the roll anyway. You
Okay.
duck down to the side. Go ahead and let whoever's moving down pass by. And as they move past you, you see Previs, the receptionist who gave you a little bit of lip, the high elf receptionist that you ran into.
Yeah, I remember him.
Still carrying a crossbow, kind of muttering to himself, carrying one of those lights, one of those lamps, and moving forward through the darkness back towards what would be presumably the reception area.
Okay, so he's leaving.
Yeah.
The Southern Library.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna let him go. I mean, I don't want to bother with him.
Okay. So you allow him to pass.
Mm-hmm.
See the light start to disappear behind some shelves. You can see the light filtering between books and rows. You slip in, continue down, and it opens up into another chamber, very much like the other ones you've seen, except when you went into the history section, it was several stories. This is just a seemingly single story, but again, another just scattering of shelves. And you begin to make your way through it. Now, I believe that you were told that the entrance was in the center of this chamber. If not, you would have been told that. I can't remember if I told you that last week.
I don't remember either. More about the location. Yeah.
Yeah, but you find yourself in there and you start making your way to the center of the chamber. And as you begin to creep up, you see another light ahead. You want to continue to proceed stealthily?
Yeah, I want to see if I can see who it is without myself being spotted.
Okay. Let's go ahead and do a fresh stealth check in this case.
Okay. 8 plus 5 is 12.
12. Okay. Scott, what is your passive perception?
Oh, that's a great question for Garpoon, isn't it? Let's see. His passive perception currently is 13.
Okay. So you start to notice as you're standing there. So you currently find yourself in front of a large stone squared off section of the room. There's a big metal door locked that you are standing next to. You're standing there with the elder scholar Jadar. If you remember last week, he had brought you here knowing that this was the goal of Bafo, to get to this location and to get in. And as far as you know, he has sent the others away, and he thinks, because you told him you believed it could be, that he can resolve things with Bafo amicably. And so you're waiting for him to come. Like, the door was locked. That's how he knew Bafo had not been through yet, because nobody would have opened it for him, and he would have had to have picked the lock otherwise. So as you're waiting, you see just a little bit of a silhouette move between the stacks ahead of you.
Okay.
As of right now, Jadar hasn't noticed it.
Okay.
And so you continue to creep forward, Bafo, and you see basically exactly that. You see Elder Scholar Jadar standing. He has Garpoon there with him. Garpoon looking Definitely better than he did when you left him, but still a little rugged, still a little beat up.
So it's Jadar and Garpoon, that's it?
Yep.
All right, well, then I'm just going to walk right in and go, finally, you're here.
Ah, there he is.
I'll look
Good job, Garpoon.
Yeah, I'm going to look sternly at that and say, "You left me to die back there.
I didn't leave you to die. It was all part of the plan.
Normally, when you've got a plan, you talk to your friends that are out carrying the plan out with you, and you didn't tell me shit about your plan."
Garpoon, it was a new plan that was formulated in the heat of the moment. I didn't think you could be defeated, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you were defeated. Yes.
It's not the
Right,
point.
well,
the point is,
I shan't mention it in polite company, but be that as may, the new plan came, which was that they took pity on you, and then healed you. Presumably, you seem to be in good spirits, and for them to pay extra attention to us. It's all going according to plan. Hello there, mister. And I sort of tip my tail to the
Yeah.
to the whoever the other guy is. I don't think I know who it is. I believe this is where the book we're looking for is being kept. Would you perchance be able to open it for me?
I could.
Very good. Then let's get underway.
I'm curious why you think that is going to be an option. What exactly do you think has changed since our last encounter?
Well, you're clearly helping Garpoon. Garpoon and I are comrades.
I
Try to keep
have
up, please.
made it clear that I'm not a murderer. I've not killed your friend, nor have I killed you. Though why I'm going to permit two people who have set this library on fire further into the library, into one of the most dangerous sections of the library at that, you're going to have to explain to me.
Okay, and I look super exacerbated. Clearly, our intent was to not set the library on fire, but to get your attention. Attention we have. There's no more need for fires. So continue to pay attention to us, and there will be no more fire. It's quite simple, really. Now, hopefully this is sufficient to assuage your concerns. We have important matters at hand that we need your assistance with.
And what are these matters? Finding a book, it sounds like.
There's a book about, my understanding is that I'm just trying to remember now what's going on. There was a book by Monduro Sact. He was said to have made a pact with a demon to obtain knowledge and power, and that he had passed at some point, but he had a lot of secrets that he had uncovered. And his book came into the possession of his nephew, one Befren Trolley, I believe. And according to the Seeker, your, I guess, search engine made into a person, said that his belongings would be here in the, what's this place called? The Dark Archive. Yes. So we just need the book. Ideally, we take the book because we suspect there might be a cult by the name of the Bound who will come here and for real burn your library for it. However, if you have difficulty with that, we can simply make a copy of it for ourselves and leave. That's our purpose here. We'll be out of your hair once it's done.
So, you came to a place designed to offer knowledge to those who seek it, and felt the need to get our attention by trying to burn it down. To obtain the services that we provide for free, normally, to anyone.
If you really want to uncover that, I have some concerns about the way that you run your business, but I really don't want to tell you your business. So I thought perhaps we'd let it lie, but if you'd like to have a feedback session, we can do this.
This cult that you say is on their way here. This is the reason that you believe I should allow you access to the Dark Archive instead of throwing you out of here.
I'm not certain if they know that it's here. We seem to have confirmed it, so maybe they'll never come. Hopefully they don't. But if they do, you've got formidable librarians who are capable of combat. They even beat one of the greatest fighters in the land here. Hopefully, he isn't filled with shame and it affects his future combats.
It was more of a cheat. Give me, take him out of this place. I'd take them all with one arm.
He turns and looks at you and, Gapu, I can see that you are having some troubles with your loyalties to your friend here, based on his earlier indiscretions. Is what he's saying true?
Well, the part about the book is true. I don't know about any cult, or whether or not they're coming here to burn down your precious library. But we need that book for reasons. And we've got no aim to harm you or anyone here or this building. We just need the book. Like we told your people however long ago it was. Forever ago, it feels like. We told them all we needed, and they ran us through, circles. And here we are now arguing again why we just need the damned book.
Are you aware that we don't permit books to be removed from this site?
Shaka.
Where Harpoon comes from, we had a little card. And it had your face on it. And you would come in and take a book, show them the card, they'd say, bring it back, and you'd have 10 days to bring it back. Are you telling me only people can come in here, sit down, and read the books in this space?
That is correct.
Well, that's a
shit
library.
It's fine, Harpoon. We'll make a copy, and then we'll go. Clearly, they take their librarying very seriously.
It's not much of a library if you don't lend them out.
I will admit, I'm curious what bit of knowledge is so important that it would lead to this insane course of action. If you surrender your weapons, I will permit you into the Dark Archive.
I look around. I'm like, I don't have any weapons. You want me to give up my claws?
Yeah, what you gonna do about his claws?
I'll reach into my jacket and take my throwing darts and hand them over.
Oh, you have those?
But apart from that, I've got a violin and my claws I can't disarm.
I will look hesitant and say to Gaydar, what's his name? Jadar. I'm going to say to him, I'll give you my weapons, but you've got to make a promise. We get a book, we get to copy it, and I get my weapons back. No funny business in the meantime. I can do a lot with these hams. And I look at both my arms and hold them up.
Your weapons will be returned to you at the time that you depart. Also, I will make this abundantly clear so there is no surprise later. This is your one and only piece of information you're going to obtain in this library. Once you leave these doors, you are no longer welcome here again. Is that clear?
Got no reason to come back. It's fine with me.
I just want to say the way you throw your weight around is very impressive. Must be very proud to be the lord of the library.
It doesn't take much. When you control knowledge, you control the power that wishes to wield it. You can set your weapons down on the floor there.
Okay, I just drop my darts on the ground.
I'll drop my axe and my sword and my other axe. Clang, clang. right there.
Baffo, make a deception check for me, please.
17 plus 1, 18.
Okay.
What did I lie about? My violin?
Yeah, your violin. You and I both know that's a weapon. But he doesn't, so he just nods appreciatively, pulls out a set of keys, finds the correct key, unlocks the door. He turns and into the darkness, into the stacks. He basically says, Scholar Noalis, keep an eye on the weapons, please. Should they attempt to exit without me accompanying them, make sure they do not proceed any further. You hear a little voice call back out. You got it.
I have a quick question before we make our way in. It seems like you've given perhaps Garpoon something to raise his spirits. I wonder if you have any concoction, whatever it was, herbs that you gave to him that you could give to me.
Oh,
Ask as a favor.
unfortunately, that was the one we had on hand at the time.
I've got gold. Do you know who I am?
Great.
I can assure you that I don't care.
I'm a Sultz, you know. If you have any accommodations for me, you probably should make it. Word will go over better in Serifax about my experience here. Could you have Noalis go fetch me whatever it was? Garpoon, what did they give to you? Was it a Band-Aid?
I don't rightly know. I was in
You don't remember how you got your HP back?
I was in an unusual position of being down and losing. Not used to
You
it.
were conscious enough to know that you were given something to drink, a red liquid to drink.
It was a red liquid. That's all I know. For all I know, it was a blood of a demon. No idea. And it tasted like shite.
Sounds like a healing potion, if you ask me. So, if you could, it would be good treatment of a guest of your library to bring him a healthy potion like you gave Garpoon. I will pay for it.
Are not a guest. You are trying my patience. Proceed.
Welcome,
Is that a no?
Welcome to my world.
Yes, that's a no.
I shall go into my Yelp review back at the scribe. All right, I proceeded and I stopped this line of inquiry.
Okay, so he leads both of you into this room, and it's not very big. It's just kind of a square room with a staircase that just winds around the walls leading up, and it's very dark in there. He pulls out one of those lanterns that you've seen, and he begins guiding you up the stairs. And you travel up for what would be about 2 floors worth before you come to another door at the top of the stairs, which also requires a key. He takes a moment, unlocks the door, and you proceed into the Dark Archive.
Okay.
So the Dark Archive overall is much smaller compared to the other sections of the library, but it is definitely more densely packed. It has a feel almost of like a storehouse where maybe somebody thought at some point, oh, you know what, we could keep some stuff here, and it has just proceeded to grow beyond that. It is better lit than the others, although for mechanical purposes, it has areas of dim light and areas of no light, whereas the rest of the library would have essentially been no light. At the far end of the room, there are 4 books on pedestals with glass over the top of them. On a few rows, there are a few rows that you see, and you can see chains hanging down from the books and a couple of the rows as you proceed forward and into it. And in one corner of the room, as you come in, you see reflective paint on the floor. It looks almost like like what reflective paint would look like under a black light almost, just sectioning off one corner of the room. And on the ground inside that section is a book that is literally just sitting there dancing almost. And it'll flip open and flip to a page and then snap shut as if somebody just grabbed it and slammed it closed and slammed it back. And then after a moment, the book will begin to jump again and try to open to another page and then slam shut again. And it's just doing that repeatedly in one corner of the room.
It's supposed to do that, I say to Jadar.
There are,
Is it normal?
I would say, abnormal for a book to do that, but there are many abnormal books here. This is why we seclude this place. Be very careful.
Are there any books on how to restore one's hit points?
Sure, down in the library proper
Ah,
would be a good place to go and research that. Unfortunately, you are banned from the library, if I remember, and this is the one opportunity you have to find knowledge you're looking for, so I suggest you decide which you would prefer it be.
you don't have much of a sense of humor, do you?
I'm known for it.
Don't push your luck.
Look, we need the belongings of Befren Troll. Is it? Would it perhaps be in a bin, or do you? His uncle was the Mondoro sacked. We already found several mentions of Mondoro in several books, but his secrets, the ones we came for, were among his belongings. So, do you know where you keep the belongings of employees who have died? I assume
There's
Mr. Troll's dead.
no set location for that. If he did have belongings that were dangerous or magical in nature that we were deciding to keep here on the premises, they would have been filed away where we would have filed anything else. Now, in this section, we do have an area dedicated to books of power used by various sorcerers or warlocks or wizards throughout the ages, and it could be relegated to that particular part. It might take a bit of time to search.
Well,
You
we've
said-
learned our lesson. We'll be patient and wait this time.
Very good. So, you are going to, it sounds like, kind of let him lead as you begin this investigation, right?
Sure.
Okay. Go ahead and both of you roll an investigation check with advantage.
With advantage. Oh, these rolls. Wow, 2 6s. Oh my god. Plus 3 is 9, so 9.
All right.
Scott, it's up to you to roll better.
Second roll. Oh, good. 19. My first roll was a 1, so thank you for the advantage roll.
Wow, a 19.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you begin to explore the space, and you're following him carefully, kind of giving credence to the fact that he knows this area better than you, and let him take the lead. And he leads you back past several rows of books. You end up going past that area where I told you where the books had chains attached to them that seemed to attach to the shelves themselves. And he leads you to a row just beyond that. And the row's fairly long. It goes on for a ways, but he looks down at it and says, I think it might be this. We should probably each start looking through individually, see if we can identify the book. Nothing here should be too dangerous. Don't read anything out loud. And just try and discern if it's what you're looking for. Place the book back where you found it, if it is not. And he begins to move down the aisle as you begin to kind of take a look at the books and start seeing if you can find it. And as you look, Baffo, you start to get a little bored of the tedium of this.
I was going to say, if I see any books with naked pictures in it, I might try stealing them.
Okay, noted. Go ahead and roll
It's
a
for Garpoon.
separate investigation check for naked books.
It's for Garpoon. It's a Christmas present.
I'm sorry I ran away and left you to die, Present.
12 plus 5, or what's my investigation? 15.
15? Okay.
Yeah.
You're better at finding naked pictures than you are the book you came here for.
Sounds about right.
Sounds good. So you start to get a little bit bored. This is based off of your first investigation check, though.
Sure.
And you kind of are half-heartedly looking. Deep down, probably honestly, you're hoping somebody else will just stumble upon it and you can put this tedium behind you. And you wander to the other side of the shelves, to the row with the books on the chains.
Okay.
Is curiosity going to get the better of Baffo?
Of course.
Okay.
In fact, why wouldn't they be here in the chains area of all places? We should be starting with this. Yeah.
Seems logical to me. So you start to proceed down that way, thinking not much of it, and you reach out and you go to touch one of the books, and it spins and lunges at you and begins snapping right at your face. The chain, the only thing keeping it from actually making an impact. And just as you're about worried that it's gonna go after your hand or some other part that is within range of it, you feel a hand on your shoulder kind of pull you back and say, "Focus, please. This aisle first."
I'm sorry, but these books look so interesting, unlike the other books.
So you continue your search. You do find one book that has a naked picture of a succubus in it.
Oh, sweet. Is there anyone around while I'm like in the aisle that I'm at?
I mean, you are in the aisle with Garpoon and with Jadar.
Oh, sweet. Okay.
You're not going to peel your potato or something.
I don't know how line of sight is. What kind of bags does Garpoon carry?
I think you guys just have standard backpacks. I don't think you have anything special.
So here's what I want to do. Without Jadar seeing, I want to take the book from the shelf, fill the shelf up so it doesn't look like a book's missing. Then I want to slip over to Garpoon without Garpoon paying attention and put it in Garpoon's bag.
Okay. I need a sleight of hand, a stealth, and a sleight of hand check.
Sleight of hand.
The second sleight of hand. With
10. Oh, I've got good. I got 10 on the first one. I don't know if that passes. Stealth. Stealth is 20. That's easy. Okay, and I have a disadvantage on the second sleight of hand.
On the second one.
Yeah, 10 again. 10, 19, 10.
I didn't
Or
expect
what
it
did I say?
to.
I have a +5 to both of those stats. That's why
I didn't
they're so
expect it to go this way. Okay, so you successfully look over and you see Jadar and you're watching him. And he leans up and you see him get interested suddenly in a book. And he pulls one out, and just as he's getting to that moment of, oh, I need to recognize this, you slip the book out and you kind of tuck it under your arm. And you've got your hand on your chin, the book's under your arm, and you're just really thinking about things. You then look over to Garpoon. Now, Garpoon is closer to Jadar, which is why you had disadvantage. And you begin to creep over to Garpoon. And while you're sneaking up to him, Jadar turns and looks directly at you. What are you doing?
Just trying to see what Garpoon, how successful he's being. He's not known for his book skills. I'm double checking his work.
Why are you sneaking down the aisle?
It's a library. I don't want to interrupt anyone's study. That's what we do here, right?
Garpoon has his section covered. Please stay in your area. So...
During that time, am I able to armpit it into his bag, or...?
No, you didn't get close enough. He caught you on the stealth check. So...
On the stealth of all things, I rolled the
Yes,
highest.
I know. I rolled very poorly for the sleight of hand. And
okay,
very
so
well
I have
for
the book
stealth.
I have the book like under my armpit right now, right? Is that where it is?
Yeah, you're just you were kind of creeping, but now the book is just sort of tucked under your arm. He is watching you now, though, because you have been caught doing something suspicious.
Okay. So I gotta look at it and be like, well, what sort of books are you looking at?
Journals, magical texts.
Does he have a bag on him?
Does he have a bag? No, he's just
Oh.
wearing robes.
Well, that's interesting. I guess I'll go back to my section, and I'd like to just. I don't want to back away because that'll look suspicious, so I'd like to sleight of hand the book so that it's always away from his line of sight as I walk back to my area, I guess.
Okay, roll another sleight of hand.
19.
Oh, yep, no problem. You successfully get back to your section. He watches you like a hawk, but he doesn't catch it.
All right, so I guess I can put it in my own bag then.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right,
He
so I
rolled
just-
so I'm gonna say because he rolled so bad on that sleight of hand check, he does not see you slip it into your bag.
Okay, I slip it in my own
roll
bag. I'll try to get
necessary.
into Garpoon's later.
All right, so continue searching, and Garpoon. Now you're looking through.
Yeah.
How is Garpoon at reading? I mean, he's not dumb. He comes across that way sometimes, but he's not stupid.
What a way to open. I mean, he's not dumb.
Yeah.
He's not dumb.
I'm not interested in these stupid ideas, but I can read them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm literate. So I'll grab a book. The biggest problem with me is I'm just kind of manhandling them. Just grab the book, yank it out, open it, see if there's anything that, whatever, put it back, or I'm looking for names before I do any of that. Like I would not be very gentle with your all your tomes.
Just smash it back.
Just kind of not breaking anything, but just kind of just not caring for the delicacy of some of these covers or how old they
Sure.
are. For all I know, it's it's better to have a sword in this hand than a book in that hand, kind of thing is my attitude.
Okay. So you are making quick work going through there, but you're doing your due diligence. You're looking for the name. You're looking for anything that might be a sign that it is what you're looking for. And as you're kind of flinging books, Jadar's watching you. He doesn't love how you're taking care of all of this. But you yank one book out, and you hear a smack from a fairly thin book that has landed on the ground. It's got a very flexible, almost little, it's like very thin leather cover to it,
Okay.
just laying there on the ground. And you want to take a look?
Yeah, I'll look at it and see if I can tell what it is before I touch it or bend down to it or anything. Can I?
So you pick it up, you take a look,
Okay.
and it occurs to you that what you've been looking for this entire time has not really been referred to in your conversations as a book exactly. You've been calling it that because you're in a library, you're surrounded by many books and tomes and scrolls and things of that nature, but it's always been referred to as a journal
Okay.
that is said to contain the cipher. And what you pick up definitely seems to be the part. And stitched in the lower right corner of the leather is an M and an S.
All right. I'll go. Oi! Shit rabbit!
I'll look behind me.
I forgot that meant Baffo. I was like, who's Shit Rabbit?
I think I
I
found
look behind me as if I don't know who he's talking to.
I found your book. I think this is
my
the
tail
book.
Goes up.
Yeah. I'll hold it up. Or hold it down, I guess, because he's so much shorter than me.
What?
Because you're a little shorter than me, so I'll just hold it down there.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said it was because the book's shorter.
No, it's because you are.
Gotcha. My tail is fully erect as I walk over.
Uh-huh.
As I walk over to see the book.
Okay. Is this the book?
I snatch it. I don't know. I'm gonna open it and start flipping some pages.
Okay, you start flipping through, and as you kind of open and do the initial, sort of flip to the middle sort of bit, there are writing, scribbling. Some of it you can understand. A lot of it seems to be in a language you don't understand. And as you're kind of looking through it and flipping through, you begin to realize that this dead middle section of the book contains detailed explanations next to words that are unfamiliar to you. So go ahead and make a straight up intelligence check.
15 plus intelligence is 1, so 13. No, 16. 16, sorry. 16.
So as you're looking at it, start thinking about it, you start to come to the decision that these descriptions next to these symbols you don't understand are describing potential outcomes of what that symbol might represent. And next to it is a complicated algorithm almost on how to figure out which of the multiple meanings that symbol can represent. And the more you dig through it, the more you realize that there's about 90 pages in this journal dedicated to that. And you're fairly certain you've just discovered the cipher.
Oh, because we have some Mondoro stuff. We're trying to get the cipher so we can make it intelligible.
Right.
That's what the cipher's for. I remember now. Okay. Is Jadar nearby?
Yeah, he's watching you.
I mean, can I whisper to Garpoon without him noticing? Like, I guess Garpoon
he'll see you whisper, but whether or not you think he's gonna react to that is up to you.
Okay, so I'm gonna mime without. My back is to Jadar, so I'm gonna look at Garpoon and I'm gonna just mouth the words without making sound, and I mouth out. I don't know if Garpoon's gonna be able to understand this.
One thing I do want to point out. It's gonna play real well on the podcast, Bo. One thing I want you to understand, just Garpoon was standing closer to Jadar than you. You had approached Garpoon to get there. So to have your back to Jadar, you have to walk around Garpoon and then intentionally turn your back to him.
Oh.
Yeah, you're not. It's the wrong
Okay,
position.
so I shouldn't do that. Then.
I mean, you can do it. I just want to make sure you understand the lay of the land.
Oh, but then because Garpoon his body's in front of Jadar, I can sort of casually lean up to where he's out of my line of sight and say, "Should we?" And I'm whispering, "Should we steal it?" But I'm just mouthing it where Jadar can't see me.
So is that physically possible, John? Can he do that and I can see it?
Go ahead and we'll say make a stealth check. He's good at it. With disadvantage, Jadar is interested. He heard Garpoon say, I found your book. You've been flipping through a thing. He's definitely invested in if this journey is over. So, stealth, but with disadvantage. To you, Baffo.
Oh, it's me that has to roll stealth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to convey that info to me.
You're trying to hide it behind Garpoon's body.
Yeah.
You're trying to break line of sight carefully.
Okay. 17.
17. All right. Let's see how Jadar does. Jadar doesn't roll very good.
Oh, good.
I got +5 to stealth. It's pretty fabulous.
I mean, honestly, Jadar
lowest
should
I
be
can roll
able
is
to
a 6.
catch you. He just rolled very bad.
Look, he's a librarian. I'm a master rogue. Like, it's okay that I win these things.
Yeah, he fried
Against
you
the
a couple
librarian.
seconds ago, though. Anyway,
Yeah, I know. I'm not perfect.
that's not the point. That's neither here or there. You successfully whisper that to Garpoon. He did not hear, but he is now approaching, having heard.
I'm just asking you if we should steal it or not.
I know. I'm trying to think how to respond without.
Well, shit, rabbit.
Jadar is approaching closer.
I'm gonna nod. I'm just gonna nod in a nonchalant way to you, like I know
Up
what
or
you're
down or left or right.
up and down, as in yes. If you found the book, this is it. We need it. We're gonna take it.
Okay. All right.
And I'm not gonna say anything though.
I don't do anything immediately. I just ask him the question.
All right, Jadar comes around the corner. Not the corner. The corner that is Garpoon's
The corner that is
pod.
Garpoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That is exactly what I was thinking. He peeks around Garpoon. Did you find something?
You talking to Baffo?
He's looking down at the book you're holding.
Yes. It appears to be a journal of some kind.
Is it the journal you're looking for? Does it have to do with Mondoro Sect? I believe you said the name was.
I look at Garpoon and realize I'm not going to be able to... Yes, this is the journal of Mondoro Sect. Of Beffin Troll. It contains a copy of the cipher that we're looking for.
May I see it?
I know what you want me to do.
I love these looks between the two of you.
I know what he wants me to do, but I don't want to get killed and then revived at one point of my health again.
It's just one of them.
It right here, right now, but one is. Oh. All right, hold on. Is he his back to me?
He's standing right next to you.
Does my character have any rope?
That
No.
you are
All right.
even considering this with your amount of hit points is really a
That's
miracle.
true. I look at him and I say, yes, it appears to be the Journal of Beffin Troll. Here, if you'd like to look at it, Master of the Library, please do.
You don't have rope. That's a shame. So he reaches out his hand. He takes the journal, opens it, begins to flip through it. And what are you going to be using this for?
Well, there is a weakness between the human realm and our realm. The barrier between the two worlds is weakening. And there's a cult that's searching for a way to hasten this process. And what we're trying to do is to stop them and find out why this is happening, and to save our world and to save the human world. Something along those lines. I do have a fascination with the person who created the... What was his name again? Krull? What was his name? It was the guy who...
Kathos Null.
Null. I do have a fascination with that, but that's on hold for let's...
Although, just for clarification, Kathos Null did not create the barrier. He created the anathema, which is the plague that resulted in the need for the barrier.
Oh, right. Okay, perfect. Yeah, you're right. I am searching for the purpose of the anathema and why it was created and who created it and one of the mysteries behind it. But for another day. Right now, my interest lies in simply making sure worlds do not implode. So we need this cipher in order to obtain information that Mondoro Sect had obtained with regards to this.
And you said you've met this cult before.
Did I? I think just Grizz told us about it, right?
Yeah.
I think you mentioned during the initial proclamations of how important you were, that you were heroes to the you were heroes from a battle that nobody seemed to know about.
Right.
That you would save the world.
Well, the Bound. Mostly, I've heard of them from our handler.
Or benefactor.
handler.
I like benefactor.
Yes,
Who
our
is
patron.
your handler?
That's privileged information.
Okay. Are you saying that because you don't know, or are you saying that because you don't want to tell him?
No, I don't want to tell him.
Okay.
In case
fair.
he's actually secretly the Bound.
Okay. All right. Privileged information. Fine. This seems to be a method of decoding something. This is the key to stopping this cult?
I didn't realize that you were going to be interested in what we were looking for. I thought
I'm
we could just get the book and go.
interested in what would inspire two people, such as yourself, to come to this library, threaten multiple individuals, threaten to burn it down, just to get an audience so that you could find this quickly. This does not seem worth the trouble you have invited, and so that is where my curiosity lies. We are, after all, followers of Zelganith, naturally curious.
Naturally curious doesn't mean automatically entitled to answers for your dumb questions.
So here's the thing: if the Bound comes here, the less you know, the better. That way, they can't torture you for the information. So probably you shouldn't ask me any more questions about this. If you want to have a swift death when they come here.
All right,
You may wish to write to the king, to whoever leads the people of this universe, and have a retinue of guards dispatched here to help protect you, because you are formidable fighters, but you will probably die quickly when those who are searching for this book arrive.
Your concern is well noted. He hands the book back to you. Let's get downstairs. You are going to need time to make a copy of this, I'm sure. You will go ahead and prepare paper and ink, all the materials you need to get the copy, and get on your way.
Yes. Oh, very good. Very good.
Will you require an aide in making a copy of this, or will the two of you be up to the task?
An aide? Like someone who can make me lunch?
No, someone who's more capable with a pen, a quill, and ink.
Do you have anyone who can copy this? Look at the runes in here. They're quite complex.
It is not hard for our scholars to make copies of things. They are all trained in it.
Okay, well then yes, please, very much so. Is there a cost associated with an aid?
The knowledge here is freely given. That is the price you paid when you brought, presumably, something in with you.
We did. You can check with Privis.
Yes. What bit of knowledge did you decide to impart on this library?
It is an accounting of one of my more lesser known cases. The dog who wasn't real. Chendo, though, thought it was quite descriptive of the kind of work that I do, and a good example, not his words, just paraphrasing, but a good example of the kind of excitement that comes with solving a good mystery.
The dog that wasn't real.
Yes.
I am going to have a word with Privis about allowing fiction in for payment.
It's not fiction, although perhaps some liberties are taken, but I've talked with Privis on this issue already, and he said that you accept updates. So if you have any notes, please mail them to Chando Walding, care of Chando Walding at Serifax, and he'll be sure to review them for you.
Oh yes, I'm going to research your biography very quickly. It is going to be top of the stack for me, I'm sure. Let's go.
All right, I'll follow.
All right, he leads you around the corner, and as he does, you can hear banging.
Okay.
Just a
like sex.
No, not like sex. Well,
Okay.
depends.
like harpoon having sex?
Yes,
Wow.
depends on who. Not you, but perhaps Garpoon.
Yeah.
Against the metal door that led in. And he turns and looks at you somewhat alarmed. Do you know what this is?
Who's got the better hearing, Garpoon or me?
You both hear it. It's very loud.
That's me. Garpoon, are you able to tell what manner of creature that is by the way that it's banging?
They sound big, and they didn't come with us. These aren't people we know. I'm not even sure they're people.
All right. Can I put my ear to the ground and sniff and listen just to determine what kind of a creature is behind the door?
Sure, go ahead and make an investigation check.
Sniff and listen.
Investigation, so 15.
15.
12 plus 3 is 15, yeah.
Okay. It sounds like metal hitting metal. You're not getting any other indication beyond that.
So they're armed.
There's something beyond the door, metal striking metal.
I'm on all fours with my butt up in the air and my face in the ground, like sniffing and listening. And then I look back at Garpoon and I go, "They're armed."
How many?
Can't tell. Just one banging. Could be more.
Shit. We're gonna need those weapons back.
And no sooner does Garpoon say that than the door flies open.
All right.
Are you going to... You're currently standing in, just to give you an idea, you are standing in basically a direct main aisleway to that door. The way the Dark Archive is structured is that central chamber is somewhat at the far end of the library. It was in the center of the room you were in, but this room is laid out differently than the floor plan below you. And it's kind of to the far end, so the shelves, stacks on the side do extend beyond it, but there's a central aisleway that you are basically standing right in the middle of as the door begins to fly open.
Can I quickly...
a couple seconds to take action if you want to react to that.
Now, do I know if Garpoon can break chains apart with his hands? Because I want to tell Garpoon to go to the magic books and start ripping them off.
You've never seen him do it, but it's reasonable for you to believe that, perhaps.
All right, so I quickly want to say this. I'm like, Jada, we need to get those magic books. Do you have any book setup bombs? And plus, we have to rip the books off the chains. We have to do it now.
Are you taking cover while you say this, or are you just issuing commands from the...
I'm running to those books while I say this.
You're running to the aisle. Well, you're not very far, because, I mean, that was the next aisle in front of you.
So I mean, it's all going to happen quick. I can't just take the time to explain and get by it and then do the action. I start running towards it, and I take one of the chains, and I'm like, and I don't know if I am capable of breaking the chains or not, but I'm trying to break the chains and get that book that's trying to eat me out and to attack the bad guys.
Okay, so you're doing that. That's your course of action. Garpoon, what are you doing?
Well, where are our weapons again? They're not right there, are they? They're
you left
outside
them
of the Dark Archive.
You left them downstairs.
Shit. I knew that was going to be a thing. All right, I should have fought for keeping them. I'm going to run over there where Baffo is and help him break those chains, because I don't know what else he'd do.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, while you break the chains, I'm also going to take out Heartstring and turn it to a crossbow and give it to Garpoon.
Whoa, can you do that?
Okay, I'm going to say you need to either focus on breaking the chains or focus on making the crossbow. You don't have very much time.
Okay, chains.
Okay.
Magic
So
books.
You're both going to work on the chains. Jadar steps out, looking at the two of you in kind of bafflement. You just see him as he's passing the side, walking forward.
Help! Quit looking there like you don't know what you're doing. There's books to attack people here.
Go ahead and roll a strength check, both of you.
Both of us? Okay.
Yep. Actually, go ahead. Let's make it athletics. Go ahead and add your athletics multiplier.
Mine's a -1, so 9.
Okay.
Mine's this.
I'm not strong.
Mine is better actually, so this is good. Hold on. +5. That would be a 17. 17.
17. Okay. So, Baffo, you grab the chain. You begin yanking on it, and the book immediately springs forward to try and take a bite at you.
Uh-huh.
Oh, jeez. Wasn't gonna give it any modifier or anything at all, and it rolled. Finally, I rolled good. You take 1 point of damage as the book thump, and just closes right on
So
your.
I've got 4
snout.
hit points, so I completely drop everything and say, "Go, Gapoon, you get it." I'm not taking any chances, and I'm gonna go and hide. I'm gonna go stealth. I'm just gonna go stealth.
Garpoon, on the other hand, you begin to pull on the chain. Your book also comes to life and is going to attempt to bite you. I think it might. Oh, it might change depending on if you have your shield equipped or not. It's a 15.
I
You
would
allowed
have
to bring
left
shield
the
in?
field. I would.
No, he doesn't have the. She doesn't have the shield.
Yeah, I would have left
Oh
the
no,
shield.
it's gonna miss.
Okay.
So you're pulling on it, and you feel the chain on the shelf start to. You're not breaking through the chain, but you see where it connects to the shelf starting to give way. The metal's starting to creak a little, and the book spins around and goes to snap at you, and you just pull your head back just in time as it snaps shut right in front of you.
Okay.
I'm gonna whisper from the shadows to Jadar, "Command your books to attack the enemy."
Jadar, in the meantime, is going to walk forward, and you don't see this because he has now moved past the shelves where you were seeing, and you just hear from the distance, "Gentlemen, what is the meaning of this? Who are you?" And you hear other voices talking to him. You can't quite make out what they're saying. It's quiet. Next course of action. What are you doing next? We're kind of doing turns at this point, but just to go slow because a lot could happen. We're not in initiative yet.
Yeah,
So
I'm in crazy manic.
what's
mode right
your
now,
what's your next course of action?
So have I freed a book? Has a book been freed? Okay.
You've started to.
All right. I'd like to.
The books are clearly flying and snapping, though. They'd be good allies.
Yeah, if we can control them. They don't see us as the good guys, though.
It's so far. It's only.
Did Jadar respond to me telling him to control his books?
No, he walked right past. All you saw of Jadar was him walking past you like this.
All right. I'm just gonna try to finish. Well, I'm gonna go.
Baffo, what the hell are we doing? These
We're trying
books,
to find weapons.
but these
Anything.
books are eating. They're trying to take a bite out of me. They don't care
Use
about
them
what.
like a mace. You can whip them around like maces, and then bang, hit them, and then they'll do extra bite damage.
You're supposed to be the smart one. This was a terrible idea.
No, it's a good idea. I assure you. It's the only weapons that are here is whips.
All
Take
right.
the chains off and whip them like whip books.
I'll go.
Give like a mace. Like
I'll go right.
there you go. That's how you control them is through mace power.
All right. I will attempt to free one of them and keep the chain on it, but break the chain.
Okay, make another athletics check, please.
Okay. Oh boy. 16.
What other weapons there are?
Yeah, 16.
16. Okay. It is going to be a 16 to hit as the book tries to bite you.
Okay.
Does that hit?
Hold
Does
on.
that do it?
I'm sorry, I'm in the wrong page. It is exactly armor class 16, so that's great.
All right. You take 1 HP of damage
Great.
as you pull on the chain, and the book flies up, and the spine just comes right at you and just cracks you in the nose while you're pulling on it.
Don't let John discourage you. This is a great idea.
Yeah. You keep pulling, and you hear a kunk, and the metal that attached to the shelf breaks. You are now holding a chain with a book attached to it. It is hovering right now.
Okay.
So it's not like it's pulling tight or anything like that. It's hovering right in front of you. It just bonks you in the face. But you are now holding a book attached to a chain.
It sounds like a chomp, one of those chomp things in the Mushroom Kingdom. Like just a little hump, hump, hump at the end of a chain. That's amazing. All right. So what do I do? Or what do you want me to do?
Well, we'll move quickly to what you hear as this goes on. You hear Jadar shouting. You hear a of crossbow bolts being released.
Oh, that sounded like a lot.
You hear a yell. You hear a summoning and power calling of magic. You hear a yell.
Wait, he's got the book. He took it from me.
No, he gave it back to you. You have
Oh,
the book
shit.
right now.
All right. Put it in Garpoon's bag.
Boy, that would really suck. Oh my
I
gosh.
keep putting it in Garpoon's bag. Make a sleight of hand, I guess. For
Well, I'm gonna put it and the succubus bag book in. I'm not gonna hide it from Garpoon. I'll just put it in. He can just feel me in the back of his back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah.
In your backpack.
Putting your dirty
Still
freaking
make a
fantasy
sleight
porn.
of hand. This is to see if you successfully do it. He's fighting a book at the moment.
Okay.
14.
Yeah, you do it. Just wanted to make sure you didn't completely foul it up, Baffo.
As soon as I have the next available time, I do want to see what we're dealing with in terms of assailants, because it doesn't. I have 4 hit points, and that sounds like many men.
So okay, we will move forward another turn. Baffo, what would you like to do? I hear that as your goal. You want to see what you can find out. Are you going to try to pass Garpoon and peek around the corner? Are you going to try to go down along the far side and make your way up? What is your tactic to proceed?
The way I'd really like to do this is I want both my head and Garpoon's head, like in a movie, to just go like this from the side of a bookshelf and both
Okay.
poke out and look down, and then
Yep.
before we get seen, just quickly we both pull back, and then maybe one of us pulls the other one back.
Might go that way. So for you right now, you're going to poke your head around and see what you see.
Yeah.
All right, Garpoon, what are you going to be
My
doing?
tail also pokes around and looks too. I was like,
Are there shelves I can duck behind, but then kind of shift a book to the side to see these people without getting out in front of anything? Can I see through books?
You can try. If you went to the very edge of the shelf, you might be able to pull it apart and at an angle see a part of it. It will be partially obscured if you don't want to pop your head out, but you could definitely do that.
I will try that first before I do anything else.
Oh. Okay, first thing, the book is going to try to attack you again
Great.
with an 18 to hit.
Shit!
So take another hit point of damage from the book you're holding.
we better hurry up and get into combat before the book beats you.
I know, it's the worst dot I've ever had on a character in my life.
So
It'd be bad if it didn't roll so well.
Mm-hmm.
So Baffo turns and leans and he pokes his head around. Garpoon, you go over and you pull the shelf back. You pull some books back and you're peeking through the shelf very sneaky. And all of a sudden, right in the back of your head, the book flies into you and you go head first into the bookcase. And just, that's where your 1 point of damage came from.
Okay.
And you kind of shake it off, keep looking through. And what you see right now is there are 4 figures at the end of the hallway, dressed in complete black robes. 3 of them have, 2 of them have crossbows. 1 is down on the ground, presumably dead or at least unmoving. Crossbow has fallen out of his hand. They are wearing white masks that only cover half the face.
Okay.
It's very, like, almost alien placid look on that half of the face. Just a single little eye slit cut out, very neutral line for the mouth. And it almost looks like an alien, like a gray, but
Okay.
it's a white porcelain looking mask that covers just half their face.
Okay.
The 4th person is standing there unmoving. He hasn't drawn a weapon or anything at all. This individual is wearing a full mask.
Okay.
And on the right side, just like the others, it's that placid kind of alien look to it. But as the mask hits the left side of the face, it starts to distort, and it's jagged, and it has sharp edges and hard lines. And there's a grin from the like kind of even line of the one side of the mask that kind of turns up into like a jack-o'-lantern grin that goes too far up the side of the mask. And he's just staring, he's just watching. And you see Jadar with 2 crossbow bolts in him. He has now turned to the second of the assailants and is beginning to fight them. You see him take another crossbow bolt. You see him manage to reach out and summon a burst of energy that levels the second the crossbowman in front of him. But he has now dropped to one knee following that. And that is what you see. It is one more chance to act now. Go ahead and line up your actions.
All right. So I want to take out my violin. I want to step. So how are the acoustics in the dark library? I would like to play violin, but so loud that it feels like it's coming from everywhere, with the intent of covering up Garpoon's impending assault on them, and also distracting them.
Okay, make a performance check. I will say this part of the library is like most of the library. Anything you do, it does echo, but there is sort of a natural muting to sound in this place. So you're not going to play anything that's going to like deafen, but
no, I'm not trying to fill the room. I'm trying to scare them. If that makes it like all of a sudden there's like there's this violin sort of playing everywhere, but I don't want it to reveal my location. So that's why I'm asking, how are the acoustics? Like, can I play without it seeming like it's coming from any particular direction?
This place is very densely packed. I would say, unless you did something stupid, this will be the performance check part. You should be able. They might have a general idea of where you are, but not specific exactly.
My performance is probably not that great. Shit, I shouldn't have done that. 7. I'm not good at performing. Wrong character.
Okay, that's
a
fine.
Different character I'm thinking of.
You pull out the violin, you start playing. Garpoon, what are you doing with this moment? You've just seen Jadar go down to one knee. There are now 2 assailants seemingly left out in the hallway.
All right, my best I think my best response is to use this like a Gears of War grenade.
Okay.
And I'm going to you know how those look like they're kind of on a chain? I'm going to take that thing and go and chuck it into the midst of the 2 that I can see, and see if that thing doesn't cause mayhem over there for them.
Go ahead and make an attack roll. +5.
Okay. Oh, sorry, +5. 16.
16. All right. Are you aiming specifically for the guy with the full mask or the guy with the crossbow?
Guy with the crossbow, because it's ranged. That's going to be a problem for us until we get him down. So yes, crossbow guy I would like to aim for. Although I wouldn't be sad if it hit the other guy, but that's fine.
All right.
Aiming for crossbow.
So in this moment, just before we're going to roll initiative and see where this goes from here, Baffo begins to play the violin furiously, a battle cry, echoing in the library. Garpoon, with a roar, takes this book that, again, at this point is just hovering, but he begins to spin it, and the book, it extends to the full length of the chain, and he begins throwing it. Do you yell anything as you throw it forward?
I go, yes. I go, you face Garpoon's book! And then huck it with all my might.
The book goes rocketing off. And let's see. I feel like it should do additional damage. We'll just have it do your unarmed damage for bludgeoning just for throwing it at him. What is your unarmed damage?
Oh, good question. Unarmed damage is 4. I don't know what. Oh, 4 bludgeoning.
Okay, so it flies off. The guy looks up. Everybody looks up at the sound. They hear suddenly dramatic violin playing. They hear, "You face Garpoon's book," and it goes flying out, and it just pegs this guy in the head, and his head goes flying back. And as it does, the book starts to fly off, bouncing off his skull. But then the book stops in midair, swings around, and flies back at his face, snapping. And you just see the guy let out a little shriek as the book and just smacks him right in the face a second time.
Nice.
Jadar looks back at you, clearly hurt, clearly in a bad way, and the masked figure looks directly at you and says, more. And that's where we'll take our break.
Oh, don't drink right when you're about to get a cliffhanger. I almost choked to death. All right. We'll be back, you guys. Don't go anywhere. That was awesome. We'll be back in a minute with more of the Inverse. Stay with us.